Warning for your daily forecast.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. We got Jesse Sanchez in the wing. Jesse, what's going on in the world?
Good morning. Yes, there was a lot of stuff happening in the world, but you know what I just woke up to?
What?
You were mentioning, what was it, Sonic 2 yesterday?
Yes. Good movie.
It is now available to watch on Paramount Plus.
It's now available? Oh, even better. Even better.
Right? I want to watch it, but unfortunately I have to wait for Casey because she'll murder me while I'm sleeping. So I will make the person who sleeps next to me nice and happy.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, no, you don't want that problem. Okay, well, yeah, it's a good movie, and it's good to watch with the kids, and it's good for the family, and I highly recommend it. So, good job over there. All right, lots of things going on in the world. We're wondering what's going on. I know the situation in China is kind of a question right now. Some are going, what? What are you talking about? According to the administration of our current moment in time, Joe Biden said the U.S. would intervene if China were to invade Taiwan. Now, Taiwan's always been kind of a thing with China. China's always kind of said, well, you're kind of in our area, so, basically we should kind of be over you, kind of like Russia is over Ukraine. So it's kind of weird it's all happening now, right? I mean, I don't know how people think about that. I think it's an interesting thing to discuss because the question is what happens next, right? So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, first thoughts, I think people think, okay, well, that makes sense. You would defend a country, right? Or an area or a territory. But I would say this, and I just would throw this out there. Is the U.S. able to do a war in Ukraine? Where else is the U.S. At? They're in a couple other areas. And are they ready to go at China? Now, China is a world power. Russia is a world power. And several others are world power. Are you going to go against the world powers all of a sudden? I would say this. Now, if they get like support from other countries, I could see that. But then the question is, what kind of war is starting to go on in the middle of coronavirus, right? And in the middle of, pox and all these other things, right? And in the middle of inflation and crazy prices and money's going, all over the place. I saw a report yesterday, not going to lie. I thought it was interesting, actually, Jesse. It kind of gave a perspective that we've seen here, actually. I know in San Bernardino, the Carousel Mall, right?
I do not, but continue.
Okay, the Carousel Mall is in San Bernardino, and recently I think it had a fire. But I used to broadcast out there at a station, which was the last station that I came from, and a lot of people know that. But I always wonder how they're doing. But they moved from that area. But I remember being in that area, and it was like a slow roll to like nobody being there. It was like a bustling mall at one point. And then somehow it just like died down, like died. They say it happened because of the city. The city kind of overran it instead of it being privately held. And because the city overran it, it just basically got like barren. And like there were still stores inside, but nobody was like literally going. Maybe like to a Chinese restaurant they would. And I think there was like a guy that fixed shoes or something like that. But other than that, it was just our station, which was nice because it was like in a mall setting. I loved it. Because people could be on the outside kind of like seeing us do our thing on the radio. But because there was glass like in the middle. For anybody that knows the area, you would know. I had posted pictures of it. But my point in saying that is a guy in Russia was actually broadcasting from there. And he was like in Moscow, right? Which is a very nice area. And a lot of the stores that they have there look like our malls, Jesse. And I thought it was interesting. Because sometimes when you get out of your bubble, you go, what? Like other areas have the stores that we have here. It looked like a mall. I'm not going to lie. It's like a cross between Cerritos Mall and Glendale Galleria. And for those that know the area, I mean, those are nice malls. But they had like Zales, they had Starbucks, they had all these stores basically closed. But it wasn't due to the virus. It was due to the sanctions, right? All the companies are saying, no, we're pulling out because of, the war in Ukraine, which, a lot of people say, well, that's a good thing. I say this. the majority, as he was saying on this video, he's like, I have mixed feelings about where we're at in the stream of time, which is, why is Russia doing this to our, in Ukraine, right? He was against it, right? Now, he and a friend who was from out of town, I think, probably from like, I don't know, Europe or something, broadcast on YouTube. I'll see if I can find the video. Maybe I'll repost it later, because I think it's a perspective that we all need to see, which is the people of Russia, right? The people of Russia, just like here in the U.S., we don't all agree with, what is said or what is done and what war is being had, right? But are we to suffer for it, right? Now, the people of Russia, yeah, they're suffering for it. Should they choose a new, person who makes better decisions? I say yes, but their hands are kind of tied there because they got to go whatever, the control pretty much is there, right? Or the government says, right? They got to do what they say no matter what, right? So they're kind of, in a way, suffering. But the way they're suffering right now as well is at the supermarket. So they said, you see these prices? They were double, Jesse. They were double. Like everything that you paid normal price for was double there. And that's a problem for the people, right? So they barely can make enough money because of the sanctions and the banks being tied up. A lot of people don't have access to their money. So in essence, they're buying things in their shopping carts like minimum, right? So like there were a bushel of potatoes for sale. There were like a bushel of vegetables for sale, right? And they were all double the price. And they're like, this is crazy. And there was stuff on the store shelves. Not that they have a lack of supply. They have plenty of supply, but they have no ability to buy it all. Does that make sense?
Oh no, no, yeah, it does. It's everything has gone up in price. It's making everything difficult,
Mm-hmm.
very difficult. Like I would love for everyone to just like ditch their front yards and start making like their own little garden.
Yeah.
So you know what, they can grow their own food. People can trade other stuff that they're growing. At least that'll help alleviate the pressure from the grocery store.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. I'm not gonna lie, because at the same time, I'm kind of like, okay, what is going on, and what is going to affect people eventually, right? I'm always thinking that. Some people go, "You think too much." I say, "Man, I do not think enough." Here's my thought. Okay, um, with the latest news, the people of China are obviously suffering right now, right? And again, I'm talking about the people. I'm not talking about the administrations or the people in power or the control people, right? Is what I call it. Well, you got to kind of do whatever the people in government say, right? I mean, there's no way around it, right? And I say at least here we're more safe than sorry. At least those that have taken advantage of certain things that the government has done, even things that honestly even Trump wanted, for people, and then the Biden administration kind of took off from some of the things, and then some of the things they did not. But small businesses gave a little bit of a handout. You know what I mean? Or they got a little bit of a handout. Should they got a bigger handout? I say yes. Were the people that took advantage of it and then spent it all around town? Yes. I've heard about that. They, currently are now finding those people that kind of applied for stuff and, have no intention of applying it to a business, just to personal property or a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, right? And there are people like that. But at the end of the day, I guess the question I have is this: what's going to happen if we go to war with China, right? China is a billion plus people. Okay, we are less than a billion plus people. We're half that, right? They're suffering, we're suffering, and now Taiwan's in kind of the mix. And people go, "Well, aren't you going to do the right thing by Taiwan?" I say yes, but are you going to team up with others that are going to help you out? And what does that mean? Now, they always say, Jesse, there's a way to approach things in a way that you speak to them first, right? And I think the question of the day is, what do you do when they don't want to speak? Kind of like Russia, right? Everybody was speaking. There were a lot of like peace talks. There were a lot of like discussions. The UN had the discussion. NATO had a discussion. Biden had a discussion. Everybody had discussions. And then he still invaded, right? And he still attacked. So this news is kind of like interesting because people are going, wait, what do we do now? And I'm just going to read the news so that you guys know the perspective of this. President Joe Biden said yesterday that the U.S. would intervene militarily if China were to invade Taiwan, declaring the commitment to protect the island is even stronger after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Jesse, look, you're getting a headache. Are you okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just wish, I don't know. God dang it. I just wish, whenever there's like a conflict or something, I just wish the people in charge would actually do the fighting instead of sending the
Yes.
people,
There you go.
the poor. I just did a simple way of saying it. Just send the poor people.
You got where I'm going with this. Okay. So what I'm saying is, if you're going to lay down your head for the people, that's one thing. Back in certain okay, let's take everybody loves medieval times, right? Whenever the king would ride with the people and they would go into, yeah, exactly. They would go into the, with their horses and then with, their carriages and all the military stuff. They go head to head against one another. Sometimes they have a little moment where they would say, hey, can we negotiate? Can we just step back, for a minute? But usually the king would ride with the people. Nowadays, the king doesn't ride with the people. He stays in his little place wherever he's at, and the people go and fight. Does that make sense?
Oh yes, 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 it does. I always they don't even need to fight. They just need to be on the battlefield.
Yeah, that's my point. Now, way back in the day, whether you believe it or not, it's still history, and archaeology proves it. Let's go back to the king of David, right? Or the kings of Jerusalem, right? In the kingdom of Jerusalem, there were kings that went and fought with the people, right? King David, whether you believe it or not, he against, Goliath, of course, he wasn't a king at that point. They say he was anointed in order to defend the people of Jerusalem. But at the end of the day, he went in to fight. Now, that's a completely different thing than we see now. What we see now is that people kind of are basically lazy. They use missiles, they use other people to do the fight. But I say this, if you have the mentality of you're ready to go basically on the line, then I'll give you a perfect example. Zelensky. Has Zelensky gone away from it?
No, he has not, which is actually quite surprising, which is that I'm giving him a lot of respect for that, for not leaving.
Yes. Okay, so I'll give you that. He's there in the middle of it, right? Now, I say still get out of Dodge because you might, because again, he's being attacked, but he didn't do the attacking. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. That makes total sense. I gotcha.
Yeah. So in a way, he's helping to defend the country that he said he would serve, but at the end of the day, he's trying to stay alive, right? And he's kind of making all the discussions and telling everybody, basically while fighting a fight with the people to defend the area. He's basically saying, guys, we need help. What's going on, right? But he's there. He's in the middle of it, all right? Now, many would give him more respect than you would Russia. Because at the end of the day, Putin's I guess he's in the hospital for something. I think they think he has cancer, right? But at the end of the day, he's getting treatment, but he's not in the middle of it all, right? He's saying, go here, go there, go there. And that's kind of the easy way of saying, what skin in the game do you have? If you're going to fight a war, then be in it, right? Go on the front line, right? So, some say, well, but I say this, just like back in the day of military, old, David went into it. The one who tried to kill him was Saul, but even Saul would go in the middle of it. If you do the research, the kings of old of Jerusalem actually went in to fight with the people against the enemy, right? Because the enemy was either the Assyrian army or the Assyrian nation or the Medes and the Persians. You were there to defend whenever they needed help to get out of the encampment of Babylon, and because they were basically slaves. I mean, the Jewish people were actually slaves for a long time. It was sad, but when they kind of got their own area, they were basically a nation that could go to war, but they only went to war to defend themselves. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Yes, it does.
Yeah, so anything in the Hebrew scripture, basically, that you read, if you go to the math of it and the history of it and the research of it, you go, all right, I see how they had intervention, right? And they had certain, some say, open the eyes, but people go, well, how did God defend them when in reality, they still went to war? Well, again, it came to he didn't want they to die, right? So we're kind of okay, can we get some intervention now, right? But at the end of the day, this is something that I think we all need to watch very closely because it's one of those things we said back in 2020 when I saw India and China kind of like going head to head over a line of territory, right? And everybody was like, what's going to happen over a little line of territory? I'm like, guys, get a room. Seriously, it's not that hard. Just, figure it out. It's like you guys are like kids. Well, now when it comes to territory again, why would China invade Taiwan? I think that's the better question. And at the end of the day, is the U.S. ready to defend Taiwan? I think that's the question that people need to ask themselves when you hear all the news about Biden and Taiwan and the stance that the U.S. has over China. Because China and the U.S. are technically supposed to work together, not go against each other. But at the end of the day, you go, okay, if he does invade, is that the right thing? The answer is, well, any invasion is wrong. But are we ready for it? So that's going to be the question that everybody's going to have to ask themselves, because militarily, when you have missiles and you have weapons of let's put it this way, all you have to do is launch 3 big nuclear weapons and we're all dead. Right? Like, nobody thinks about that.
Exactly. You know what? There was what movie was it? Do you remember the movie Troy?
Yes.
Okay, so in the movie, one of the kings is all like, I don't want any of this bloodshed. Let's just have one of our best soldiers on each side go to battle, and the winner is the winner.
Yes, I remember that.
Yes.
Achilles, right?
Yes, Achilles.
Played by Brad Pitt. Great movie, by the way.
It was a good movie.
And then remember, Eric Bana was the other guy defending.
Oh, Eric Bana had Orlando Bloom. Had a lot of great actors in that movie.
Yeah.
But I just wish, I don't even want war to be fought, but because a lot of it's just between the kings that want more land and whatnot.
Yes, you got it. Because they're kings of modern day. Now, some call them presidents, dignitaries, parliament, whatever you call it. They're the kings of the modern world. But the question is, are they ready for it? The answer is no. Because unlike back in the day when you had horses and you had chariots and you had spears and you had javelins and you had things that you could just throw at somebody and then, someone even it was bad, right? I mean, they would chop people's heads off. The Syrian army or the Syrian nation was so bad, they would put people's heads on stakes. Some would call that like a Viking, right? Vikings would do that. Certain tribes, not all Vikings, other ones defended. There were good Vikings and then there were the obvious Vikings. But my point is this. Throughout the centuries, there has been war, but usually the king rides with them. The only ones that usually don't ride with them are I say, well, it says something to the nation. You go, are you worthy of the job? Because at the end of the day, if you're not going to put your life on the line, right? That's why, at least in the States, we have a VP, just in case the president loses his head, right? And then you have Congress, just in case they both lose their head or everybody loses their head, right? You got to have people sign off on it, right? So there are protection in the state, but in certain areas like this, we have an emperor-like situation. You kind of go, are they going to lose their mind? What's going on, right? Or who's going to take the next chapter of the story? When people think of Alexander the Great, or they think of Cyrus, or they think of, the Medes, the Persians, and they think of all of these other countries that have lived and survived all the way till now, Rome and Greece and all these other areas. They've all basically been decimated over time because they evolve, right? So at the end of the day, the people stay alive, but we're the ones that suffer, right? And when you think of it like Alexander the Great, as good as he was, he still got turned on by people that he trusted, right? So even in government, there are coups, there are backstabbers, there are so many things. I mean, the history is very interesting, but we're living through a time where now it is, let's put it this way. Like I said, nuclear can destroy, honestly, not people, but even the earth long term, right? So they're not discussing that. We've basically gotten so out of hand that from the sword and the javelin and the little things that might do a little damage, now we've gotten so many things, like we got stuff out in outer space that could target us and destroy us. So at the end of the day, we're in a really bad situation that no one's saying, hey, peace, let's talk peace. So I think we need intervention, some intervention, but I don't think Biden's the one with intervention. That's all I got to say. All right, we're going to take a quick little break. We got more right after these messages. Stay tuned. We'll talk about more. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We see the social media chat room getting big up there. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned.
What is commitment and why is it so hard to achieve? The new book, Committed, by Dr. Carmen Hara and Alexandra Hara, will make you reevaluate the way you think about love. Committed is a relationship manual that unfolds in 2 parts: the work you need to perform on the inside and the 7 distinct archetypes you will encounter on the outside. Committed, a new book available on Amazon by Dr. Carmen Hara and Alexandra Hara, will help to find and keep the love you deserve. Committed, available now on Amazon.
Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions is now Beaumont Pharmacy with a new location at the Sundance Corporate Center. That's at the corner of Highland Springs and 8th in Suite 110. Of course, they still have Pack Your Meds. No more counting out the pills, dropping them on the floor. Oh, what a mess. And they have a full selection of pharmaceutical CBD. Wheelchairs, over-the-counter meds, you name it, they've got it. So if you're looking for the best and you want the best pharmacy, you go to Beaumont Pharmacy at their new location, 835 North Highland Springs, Beaumont Avenue in Beaumont, California, Suite 110. Give them a call, 951-845-8252.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
Mattress Brothers Overstock Mattress Sale. Just $3.99 for a foam-encased queen pillow top set. $3.99. Check out Mattress Brothers $3.99 Overstock Sale. Mattress Brothers at 120 West Redlands Boulevard in Redlands. The $3.99 Overstock Sale is on now. $3.99 for a foam-encased queen pillow top set. Mattress Brothers also has locations in Hemet, Riverside, and Palm Desert. The $3.99 queen pillow top sale on now.
Here's to your health with Joshua Lane. Ideas you can use to be healthy and stay healthy. The current thinking about beauty, fitness, and longevity. Every Tuesday and Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Wellness talk you can use. Here's to your health with Joshua Lane on KMET, naturally.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you for spending time with us. Lots of things happening in the world. I will say this. I just kind of came across this article really quick and fast. I don't like to kind of make it all about the virus, but we have listeners in Ohio, Jesse, and I know, we always do a shout out to our good friend in Ohio, but this is the situation evidently in Ohio, which I know is usually normally very nice, but this map kind of got posted just, let's see, it happened yesterday, in a bit of a sorting, northern Ohio. This is the headline. Doctor predicts big spike in COVID cases in Akron, northern Ohio. Hospitalizations and the number of reported cases are trending up. Health officials say, we're not in the clear, and they say it's silently among us and appears to be heading toward what one doctor predicts will be the big spike. Part of the problem is, of course, as they say, gauging where they are with the disease centers, and of course, as far as solutions and combating and detecting the spread, because again, it's evolved, right? The virus has obviously become something new, and because it's become something new, certain areas are kind of saying, wait a minute, how come our numbers are up? And when you look at hospital numbers especially, that's something you do not want up. So I know locally, I know locally there are areas that people go, okay, well, what do we do? And if you watch the news and you watch the area, you're starting to see people go back, honestly, to the way we were in 2020. Some of the math is off, but if you kind of just pay attention to local, your local station, and you just kind of pay attention to the hospital numbers. If you see hospital numbers up, no matter what they say about the virus, pay attention, okay? That's the number you always need to look for, okay? I know Biden came out about smallpox and that it's a thing that they're going to need to talk about. I'm sorry, not smallpox. The monkey pox, but which basically is all offshoots of a pox, right? So if you do the research, there's a reason POX is kind of like. I mean, I just recently learned that there's cowpox, right? I'm like, what? How is cowpox a thing, right? I know Jesse, you're looking kind of confused on that, but that's the thing. Like,
I use what farm animal doesn't have? Is there a donkey pox? I'm gonna go crazy if there is.
I don't know, but I do know. We just have to be safe, okay? I mean, when you think pestilence in one place after another, that's basically where we're at right now. When you look at all the diseases all around the world, and I've had a few people say, I don't want to make this a religious discussion, right? But I've had people say, "Oh my God, I've never seen it like this." I saw a lady on the news the other day, and I was like, "Huh?" And she was a doc from, or she was a doctor from, I think, UCLA. And she's like, we've never seen monkeypox all around the world like we are now. Now, obviously, when I say, all around the world, people kind of go, wait, what? But in the major areas of concern, right? Europe, Spain, Germany, US, Canada, Australia, and obviously in certain parts of, Asia. The question is, why is it getting all over the place? The answer, easy, travel, right? People have ability to travel, but why all at once? It's like one thing after another, Jesse. And this is really bad, by the way. We were talking about how bad monkeypox is, and just all the poxes of the world, right? And somebody said literally to my mom, she said, well, they have a vaccine for it. I said, oh man, they have a vaccine for some of the things, but when they mutate like this, it's kind of like coronavirus, right? How many different variants do we have? Well, some would say 8, 12, 14, 15, 16, right? Every single one that's new is different. If you get that in your head, you'll know why monkeypox is different than smallpox. So if you got the smallpox vaccine or smallpox, whatever they give, then you're ahead of that, but you're not ahead of the other, right? If you got chickenpox, people go, oh, it's just like chickenpox. Well, chickenpox you can heal from, but it still stays in your in your, like, okay. Do you know what chickenpox leads to, Jesse?
Shingles. It leads to shingles.
Yes, and shingles is bad. I remember it happening to my uncle, my tío, Jose Luis, and he was like, what is going on? His whole face blew up. It was like, what's going on? He says, it's the most painful thing. It was sad. I remember taking pictures of him and go, I've never seen this. And then later he's like, he went to the doctor and they tested for it, and it was shingles. But after a person recovers from chickenpox, the virus stays dormant or inactive in their body. The virus can reactivate later, causing shingles. Most people who develop shingles have only one episode during their lifetime, and it's bad when it happens. It's bad. So there is treatment for that. I know my mom got that vaccine last year when they said, "Oh, people, we need to get ahead of this," right? Because evidently maybe they knew something we didn't, right? But at the end of the day, these things stay dormant. I think that's the interesting thing that people need to know. It's not that your body gets rid of it. Somehow it kind of just says, all right, I'm going to sit here for a while, and then when I have the right opportunity, I'm going to blow up even worse, right? And it could scar you for life. My tío is scarred for life. I mean, his nose blew up. It grew 3 times as big as it was. It scarred his face. It was really bad, not going to lie. Nobody wants the shingles, okay? But here's what I will say. If you have a vaccine for it or a treatment for it, get it, right? But do we have a treatment for monkeypox as it is now? No. It popped up in the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. But again, it's evolved, or it's mutated, or it's become something else entirely different, because that's how viruses mutate. They get worse and worse and worse, right? Because they basically are a little thing that says, I don't want to die, I want to stay alive, and I'm going to stay alive all the way through. And, it basically does that in the body. The body says, no, I need to kill you off. That's the immunity system, right? Saying, bye-bye, you gotta get away from me, right? Go somewhere else. And that's how viruses jump from one person to another. And that's the problem that we have. That's why certain researchers and chemical, chemists are kind of going, okay, what do we do now? And they have to research the virus, usually in laboratories, which are sealed off from others, so that it doesn't get out and spread, right? Everybody has seen a zombie movie once or twice, like Z. What's the one? World Z, or what's the one with Brad Pitt I like?
Are you talking about World War Z?
That one. That's the one. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not that hard, man. But that's how viruses spread, man. That's how we get zombies eventually, right? If nobody believes me, there's the zombie ant, right? And there's like this thing that attacks the mind of the ant. And I had a discussion about the ant, and I said, ants communicate with their antenna. Some people are like, what? I'm like, yeah, they communicate with their brain, with their antenna, and they do so telepathically. I mean, if you don't believe me, do the research, right? Ants are telepathic creatures. People don't understand that, but that's the thing, right? It's not a TV device. I mean, right? Nobody does the research on that. But that's how insects communicate. That's why they have antenna.
I don't know anything about insects, so
yeah,
for all I know, it could be true.
Yeah, that's how they communicate. They don't go and they go right. That's how birds do, right? Or let's see, what does that sound like? That sounds like, I don't know. But anyway, my point is this, before I lose you all, okay? I know today's discussion is kind of a little dark. We got war, we got disease, we got famine in some parts of the world, and then inflation with money. In some areas, it is so high priced. I think that's my point. We're not at a time that we want to have war. We want a time where we want peace. And I know people always say it, but I think it makes sense because you're not ready for all that's coming at you, right? You need to keep the people alive. You need to keep people not dead, dying from pox now and from virus and from, whatever else is coming. I mean, shoot, now I can see the bubonic plague making a big leap. But I guess my point is this. Before that happens, why don't you get people safe and just say, hey, let's get over the whole idea of territory. Why do you have to keep invading, right? I mean, is anybody, on the same page with that? I get it. You want to invade. You want more money. But why at the end of the day? What if you die? Back to Russia, right? If Putin dies because of the cancer and he doesn't get the treatment, what was it all for? Right? Does anybody think about that? Long-term effects. I mean, the kings of old are dead, right? What did they leave behind? A pyramid? Good job, Pharaoh. Awesome. Yay. Good job. We talk about you behind your back. We steal your stuff and put them in a museum. Yay. Accomplishment. You know what I mean? Hello. Duh. Right?
No comment on that.
At the end of the day, what are you leaving behind, right? So I don't know. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Let's go to social media chat room. Let's see. Viviana tuning in. Thank you. Rowena tuning in. Algenia tuning in. Thank you. Let's see. Ellie Gonzalez, also known as Elizabeth. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see. Algenia says, my brain was just recently blown by supersonic technology. I was so tongue-twisted and cross-eyed. It's hard to make me cross my eyes in front of professionals. She's actually right, by the way. And then she says Germany has a surge. I believe it. And here we have a surge. We just aren't reporting it as much. And she says, friends, be careful. Be safe. Exactly. That's kind of the idea. But yeah, supersonic technology, when it comes to missile, is already there. China has it. When they launched it, the U.S. was like, huh? What? And this happened in, I think, November and December when they actually released that info. You know what? Now I understand, Jesse. I see why we're talking UFOs now, because people are like, what next, man? It's beginning to be a sci-fi drama, Jesse. I hope it doesn't go horror anytime soon.
Yeah, I hope not. Honestly, I don't know. I don't what would happen if just a UFO just actually landed?
I would say good. We need first contact. We need to know we're not alone in the universe, right? I mean, people believe in angels. It's funny. I had this discussion with somebody that was smart. And, we'll keep it till after the break. But I had this discussion. It's this. Okay, people always say this. I have faith, right? But if you talk to somebody who says, I saw an angel or I see angels, all of a sudden that's a crazy person. But the people that go to church, they're not crazy. But a person that says, yeah, I believe in angels and I saw an angel, they're crazy. Isn't that weird when you think about it?
Wait, what do you mean?
Okay, I know it boggles the mind. We'll talk about that after these messages. Stay tuned to more right after this.
Don't let insurance companies make decisions for you. Go to Pass Auto Center in Banning, your one-stop repair facility with full collision repair, auto maintenance, service, and an authorized smog center. You'll also find a full-service used car lot to fit every budget with the right vehicle for you. Trade-ins are accepted and they pay cash for your car. Pass Auto Center at 2609 West Ramsey in Banning, just off the I-10 freeway between Sunset and 22nd. Call 951-849-7878.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, license under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
We're in the studio with Fred Penny, managing attorney with Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. Fred, tell us what makes you the number one choice for handling personal injury cases.
Most of our firm is made up of former insurance company trial lawyers with extensive experience handling all types of personal injury matters. We believe that gives us a distinct advantage.
That's Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers with locations throughout California. For a free consultation, go to pennyandassociates.com or call 1-800-616-4-LAW. That's 1-800-616-4-LAW.
Tried shipping a package lately? It's amazing how difficult and time-consuming it can be. Packing envelopes, boxes, second-day ground, next-day air, it's all enough to give you a headache. Next time, do yourself a favor, go with the pros at the UPS store in Beaumont. They'll pack it right and let you know all your shipping options. You can also take care of everyday tasks like copies, faxing, notary services, and live scan fingerprinting. And while you're there, pay your Edison, gas company, and Verizon bills. Open extended hours Monday through Saturday. The UPS store in Beaumont, located in the Oak Valley Plaza at 1440 Beaumont Avenue. Call 951-769-5956. That's 951-769-5956. Online at the upsstorelocal.com/5027 or Google 5027.
Together We Are Strong is a product brand which stands for unity, equality, and protecting voting rights. Shop now at togetherwearestrong.com for t-shirts, hats, and coffee mugs. All voting rights profits are donated to Rock the Vote, an organization on a mission to empowering young voters. Become an activist without saying a word. TogetherWeAreStrong.com. Make a difference in America and the world. Shop online at TogetherWeAreStrong.com. Give the gift that helps drive change. Go visit TogetherWeAreStrong.com.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMT 1490 AM. Algenia says this: a lot of hidden intelligence involving technology. Let's get back to technology. I say this, okay. I know just I kind of left you kind of with like, huh? How did you go from that, from aliens? I say this. Some people, and you say, what would happen if like we made first contact with other alien species? I say this. Some people believe in alien, and other people say, I think you're crazy that you believe in alien, right?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, but I say this. Some people say you're crazy if you say, I believe in angel, but they kind of don't because they go, okay, that's faith. But some say, no, that's for the weak-minded. There are no angel. We're basically alone on the earth because they believe in evolution, meaning we're only here because science just is a thing, right?
Yes.
But what if you pose this question? Do alien believe in angel, or do alien believe like in a spirit? Meaning, okay, you know how like people believe in like, some people know when they feel an energy around them, right?
Okay.
And some people know like when they kind of get spooked in their home or in their house or their business or certain areas. They're like, oh, that's haunted, right? They believe in the unseen, right?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so my point is this. When you say, I see an angel, and I've had people say that, I say, I believe you. I'm not going to discount it. I'm not going to disprove it, because I've heard all sorts of things. But why is it when people say, I've seen angels, people look at them weird?
I don't know.
Now, I think it's this, because there's crazy, all right? Now, there are people that say they see the opposite, right? A bad angel, basically. But if you say that, then you might be, like, schizophrenic, right? or paranoid or paranoia. So I say this. What is going on with the world? So I say we need some normalcy. And if we have an alien sighting, which we've had a lot of, evidently they've all happened, the U.S. has actually now said, yep, we had more than 400 and some sightings in the U.S., basically in California and other areas like Florida and other areas like, metropolitan cities. But they're always in other areas that are kind of not really seen, like desert communities, Nevada, Area 51. Some say there's an Area 52, 53, and 54. But my point is this. At the end of the day, if you say you've seen any of these things and you don't have proof, basically you're held kind of as a crazy person, right?
Yes.
So I say we need normalcy of Alien now because these things are getting out of hand, man. Okay, look, I'm going to bring this up really quick because back to technology, right? And this is interesting. I'm gonna show this to you, which is what Algenia is talking about. And I hope I can bring it up. Hopefully it comes up. This is known as the hypersonic weapon that really left everyone to go, huh? Now, I just saw a report recently, and this is interesting, by the way. I thought it was, of note that we need to kind of pay attention to. Maybe it's not going to come up because it can't be seen. Oh, never mind. Okay, so here's a report, and it's on USA Today, okay? It says the fast-moving missile gives U.S. military a near Sputnik moment and may trigger new arms race. This was in November 4th. This was published on USA Today, all right? And they say, how fast are hypersonic weapons? If I bring it up, it's going to slow my computer down, so I can't actually bring it up. It says this. A commercial aircraft goes about 575 miles per hour. Okay, that's what you see up in the air, typically. That's what you fly in, right? The Blackbird spy plane, which I believe the U.S. has. It kind of looks like the, which is odd but kind of telling. Like, when the X-Men kind of fly in the air? That's known as like the Blackbird, right? That goes 2,609 miles per hour, but that's basically 3.4 Mach. Okay, that's Mach speed, okay? And that's fast, by the way. Think 2,609 miles per hour, okay? Now, a hypersonic, which is already kind of a thing, goes anywhere from 5 to 10 times the speed of sound, or in miles per hour, so you can understand, 30,806, that's Mach 5 minimum, and Mach 10, which is 7,612 miles per hour. That's advanced hypersonic weapons range, okay? That is where they're already at, but they're out with a new one, which is known as high hypersonic, and that's Mach 15 with 11,418 miles per hour. Now, when you put that with a missile, Jesse, how long does it take for a missile to go from one place to another?
5 minutes or less. I don't know.
Depending where you launch it from. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember the scene in, what was that? Okay, with Superman, way back in the day, when Superman came out, it was super bad, and then Lex Luthor's like, I'm going to launch 2 missiles, one to the east state and one to the west state. Let's see if you can help them both, and he can only say one at a time, right? Because he was fast, but he wasn't that fast, right? These are faster than that. So, I don't know what we're going to do, because we don't have Superman in the world. Jesse, what are we going to do, Jesse? I don't know what to do, man.
I don't know. It's just like all these countries are like, who has the bigger weapon? It's stupid. Like, why would you destroy the very planet that you're on?
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so back to when you say alien. Okay, let me come back all around. I say yes, because then we say, okay, at least we have a shared something. If there's alien with advanced technology and advanced weaponry and advanced everything, technically, wouldn't we want to defend ourselves from that?
Yeah. No idea, other than hiding in a cave, and even then I don't think it would help.
So I think that would actually spur us to say, hey, let's get along, man, because we're not alone in the universe, right? Because we could be taken out at any minute. So that's my point. That's what I'm saying, and there you go, all right? Some people think you're weird for saying alien exists or, angel exists. I say, you know what? Just hold up. Be open to other people, because I've seen very, faith-bound people say, yeah, I've seen something I can't explain in space. And then some say, what if there's a bridge of that? And then some people say that's crazy. But I say, what if angel, hello, wings and such, right, is a thing that's interdimensional, which people don't understand, but basically unseen. Kind of like when people say, oh, there's a ghost or there's like a spirit or there's something around me, right? That they can't explain, right? And then other people, when you say the D word, all of a sudden, it's weird, but I've had more discussion about the D word with people that say, yeah, no, I know a demon exists. I've known this, I've known that, I've known this. And they're very with it, right? Because there's some people that when you go like on the sidewalk and you go, oh yeah, that person's obviously got something wrong. You go, okay, is it mental unwellness? You know, is it mental health? I say yes, give them medication, tone them down. But at the end of the day, man, we need intervention of a high source, right? So I guess my point is this: if you got creatures that have wings, you believe it's something different other than man, right? So back to alien: is an alien different than man?
I don't know. I'm just thinking about the story that happened, I think, like 10 or 11 years ago.
What happened?
Or, like, what if a child was to see an angel? Like, how would they describe it?
Oh, that's a good question.
So I remember this story back in 2011 about it was an F5 tornado hit Joplin, Missouri, or that's how the story goes.
Yeah.
But the children were saying how they saw butterfly people.
Huh.
Yeah, apparently they saw butterfly people cover with their wings. They would cover the holes in the roof, or they would help the children escape or something like that. But I thought it was a really crazy thing, because then I was like, could they have been angels or UFOs or who knows what? But it was just interesting to think that what would a child think an angel would look like if they didn't know what an angel was?
Well, I take that over people, because kids, A, tell the truth, and B, some say they have an active imagination, but I say this: if you don't tell them ahead of time what it is, they basically say what they see. Does that make sense? And then when you see the result, and if they were safe, right, then you say, aha, I believe that kid over an adult who wants to make something up. Does that make sense?
It does. That's why the story interested me so much, because I was like, wow, butterfly people? Because that wasn't the first time I read a story about butterfly people.
Oh.
It was a story about, like, back in the days in ancient times where these people would have, like, these weird belts and they would have butterfly wings.
Huh.
So, yeah, that was kind of weird. So,
well, see,
you know, I don't know.
But that takes me to the question of, and hear me out, I know it's weird, but we just went weird already. What if, right, authors and ones that write about butterfly wings are a version of, well, I don't want to say it because then I sound weird. All right, fine. You know what? I guess my point is this. If you see something you cannot explain, either from the side of your eye or you see like an image, sometimes you think it's just imagination, right? But back to alien. I think if anything, I would ask an alien, do you believe in God? And then what do you believe happens if, like, you died in a fire, right? Like, what if your ship crashes? What do you believe happens when you die, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what faith is, right?
Right? Like if an alien species came right here, well, like, what faith would be on their planet?
There you go. That's my point. You got it. You got it. You hit it on the nail. If we went into, like, another universe, right? And we had hypersonic. Well, actually, it had to be faster than hypersonic. It'd have to be like light speed, right? Like Star Trek Enterprise, right? Let's just theorize right now for a minute. And that's the question of the day: are the ships or vessels or craft that are around us able to go really fast, really far, and all of a sudden interdimensionally, or maybe through a black hole or wormhole, right? Do they have that ability? The question is, well, if they're advanced, they would know, right? But again, I like, movies and I like, series and stuff. But back to something you just said. If we were to investigate another world, right, would we let them know we were there, or would we investigate and say, hold up, are you going to kill us along the way? Because, right? Or worse yet, what if you have a virus on your planet? We don't want that. Or worse yet, like Predator. What if you have something that mutates, gets in my body, takes over me, and then I'm Predator, right? I have questions like this. Am I wrong for that?
No. You're not wrong. Like, my worst fear is we go to another planet and we're just like, oh, we're hungry. We need to eat something. And then the first thing we pick is something super intelligent. We eat
there you
it.
go.
then we call it a giant galactic war.
And you know what? Good point. I thought that was a cow. No, that's our leader. You know, maybe that's where India gets it from. That's why they worship the cow. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. It's weird when you start thinking about it, but it can get overwhelming. But as long as you have fun with it and don't take it too seriously, I think everyone will be okay.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. You got to kind of like, all right, have a discussion, say, all right, what next, and then deal with reality. Here's reality. We have a virus here, period of the story. Don't think it does not exist just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not real, right? We see the effects of it. We see people die. Back to the hospital. Make yourself aware that the numbers are up, okay? There are surges happening, all right? I know Genia agrees with me on that. Now, back to war. War is a situation that's kind of looming right now, and when you see kind of like Biden in Tokyo, you'll understand that. I saw this report, and they call it, here's what they're calling it, Jesse. And I'm not going to lie, it feels like that right now when we discuss it. But oddly enough, when you're like in LA or other areas and you go out and it's like normal, you're like, you don't think about things like this. But they're calling it the dark hour in history. Here's the headline. Biden, leaders navigate dark hour after Ukraine invasion. Biden said this is more than just a European issue. It's a global issue. I told you, World War III, man. He said as the Quad summit with Japan, Australia, and India got underway. He didn't call out any countries. And this is today, by the way, being reported on. His message appeared to be pointed, at least in part, at Indian Prime Minister Modi, with whom differences persist over how to respond to the Russian invasion. Unlike other countries, every other U.S. ally, is what they're calling it. I would say NATO. NATO's forming a really big team over there. India has not imposed sanctions or even condemned Russia, its biggest supplier of military hardware. With Modi sitting nearby, Biden made the case that the world has a shared responsibility to do something to assist Ukrainian resistance against Russia's aggression. Now, he's talking about that. I get that, and I understand that. I mean, they're helping to defend the people of Ukraine, and I say, hey, at least you're defending people that need help. But the question is now with China and territory of Taiwan, what's going to happen next, right? So the fact that he's in Japan is kind of an interesting thing, because remember when we were at war with Japan? So I don't know, Jesse. I've got confusion all over. People got to make sense of it. But anyway, we're in a dark hour of history. They're calling it that, man. We're in the last day, I'm telling you. All right, people. We need to make it a great one. Make it a good one. We're out of time here. I'm going to keep a little odd for those that are tuning in. But stay with me, Aaron M. Sanchez, on all social media platforms. Got to let Jesse go. Bye-bye, everyone. All right, now I'm back. Okay, so I'm gonna show you something here that Eugenia brings up. It's a very important one to actually pay attention to, and it might slow down my computer, so I apologize ahead of time. But I'm gonna bring it up now. This is the situation. A lot of people don't believe me on this, but I say we're at a very, very we're at a time that I don't even want to see happen, right? This is a problem in the world, and it's such a problem that people just are unaware what it means, okay? And here it is. I'm going to bring it up if I can. Yeah, there we go. This is a visual explainer how China's hypersonic missile compares to conventional ballistic weapons. This is why China's ahead of us, just so you know, all right? And this is why the U.S. said, huh, what? Okay, here's the article, which is actually really, really well done. And I know it looks like a UFO, blah, blah, blah. But it goes so fast you wouldn't even see it. Okay? And it says, visual explainer how China's hypersonic missile compares to conventional ballistic weapons. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down on this article. How fast are hypersonic weapons? This is what I was talking about a moment ago. Okay? You got commercial aircraft on the left. It says aircraft icons not to scale. And then way at the right, HTV-2 speed. Okay? Mach 15 is basically what they're calling it, okay, which is basically 11,418 miles per hour. Now, if you know your math and you know how quick that is, that's per hour, all right? I guess you could put it this way. An airplane takes how long to go from one side of the country to the other side, right? Then times that by like, let's do the math really quick. 100 or is it 1,000? Let's see. 761 miles per hour. 7 times 10 would be 7,000. About. Well, somebody do 11,418 divided by 761. That's the math. Okay, you do that. That's how many times faster it is than a normal way to travel. Now, that would be cool if it were a way for us to travel. I say, why don't you apply that to that instead of apply the opposite, right, of destruction, right? Isn't that the right thing? Am I wrong on that? I think I would like to travel that fast. Not going to lie. Now, this is some info that, again, is already here. Here it is. I'm going to scroll down a bit. Let me see what else is here. Yep, here we go. Okay, I'm going to show this really quick so you guys understand why I'm like, oh my goodness. All right, this is the territory of China to Taiwan, which you're going to see a lot of in this week, okay? This is the area of China, okay, to the left. Now, they have all of the areas where the missiles are housed, okay? The Hami missile field, you see that on the north side of it, territory, satellite firing base, Yuman missile silos, the Jilanati training area, the Hangin banner silos, then you got the missile silo area close to Hong Kong, right? Then you got the East China Sea, you got the South China Sea, you have the Philippine Sea. Up in the top right, you have Japan. Then you got the Sea of Japan. The U.S. does not have the Sea of U.S., but whatever. You got the Philippines, bottom right, and right in the middle, you got Taiwan. Okay, now this was published in November. All right, this article. Now I'm going to scroll back up. Let's see, and I want to show you some things on these things. Let me scroll further up. Okay, trajectory of China's hypersonic and ballistic missiles. Okay, so I want to show you this. All right. Basically, your safe spot is way down in the south. Okay. So basically, it's saying if it launches on one side, and you see the target, that's us on the opposite side of the Earth, right? We're to the top right. Okay, you just can't see it. How fast can it get there? It basically goes up out of the outer atmosphere, as you see, kind of the little yellow line. And then it goes fast all the way throughout. So it goes so high up, and then it has this trajectory to the target. And that's how it does it. All right. Now, there's another way to do it, which I think is the dash thing. I haven't really discovered all of this. But I'm going to show you. Let me scroll down past this ad. All right, so you got the hypersonic glider vehicle, which is the left, which looks cool. Not gonna lie, I think that'd make a better plane than a vehicle of destruction. But let's see, it says warhead, thermonuclear, and conventional warheads, of course. Range anywhere from 1,100 to 600 miles, of course. And go minimum Mach 5. Yep. Then the one to the right is the HD-1 hypersonic cruise missile. Again, apply it to travel. That's even easier. Warhead, thermonuclear, and conventional warheads, 180 miles. Mach 2.5. So it's basically slower, right? Deployment aircraft, ships, and ground-based vehicles. Oh, I got it. Okay. Got it. Deployment ground-based vehicles on the left. Okay. And then it's got how big these things are. That will destroy a little man of 6 feet. That's where we're at. Okay, this is why I say, people, we need to get peace on this, or a period, end of story. And how we're going to achieve it? Well, I don't know at this point. It's definitely not by the hands of man, because man just wants destruction. Man just wants like all the things wrong at the time that they need all the things right? Like, okay, let's say you're a military person. Would you want to attack when the people are suffering? Honestly, no. That's a dumb time to attack. Why is it they always attack when people are suffering? Are they taking advantage of the weak? Are they taking advantage of the poor? Are they taking advantage of people just for land? What are you going to do with the land when you get there? What did Russia do when they bombed Ukraine? What do they do with the land there? What do they do with the nuclear sites there? What do they do? Are they going to go in and build it? What are you going to do when you get the land that you say you want? This is how big government go bye-bye. Okay, Egypt went bye-bye because it got way too big too quick. They went bye-bye, right? I mean, granted, I mean, great. The pyramids are there, but, that's all you got left, right? I mean, you got little tombs of Pharaoh going like, yeah, this is what we entomb ourselves in. Yay, when you wake up, you're going to be having all these treasures that are all in museums now. You guys just don't get it. We're not there. I mean, you guys got to get smart, all right? We are not the days of Egypt, or are we? Some would think, yeah, yeah. Babylon was a great empire. Woo, boy, military, big, army, lots of people. They would overtake a lot of areas, make them their slaves. What happened there? Bye-bye. Right? Big governments have come and gone throughout the years, right? Look at Rome. Rome has evolved, right? Remember when that was a big thing? Hail Caesar, right? Where did that go, right? I know, little, statues and stuff for, again, museum, right? At the end of the day, the people, we would hope, evolve or become smarter throughout time, but we kind of go back to basics of stupid stuff, and it's all called war. But, like I say, the sword could kill one person at a time. Now we got missiles that can kill a bunch of people all at once. And they're hypersonic? Talk about technology, Eugenia. Again, Eugenia tuning in from Georgia. We appreciate you. Let's see. Dennis is tuning in there. Thank you, Dennis. Leonor Perez is tuning in. Eugenia says that speed applied to aviation, traveling by cruise ships for vacations, engineering cars for the positive. Exactly. That's my point. You could take this technology and apply it for good. All right. Now I know I talk alien, but I mean, if you do the research, even government now has admitted to seeing craft that they cannot explain. They're calling them UFO, right? So when government finally makes that kind of admission, you go, hold up, right? And now people are going to come out and they're going to go, yeah, I've seen something I can't explain, right? Or you take a picture, you take a video. I know people have. I know they have because I was with one person when they did, and I said, take note of that. It's going to be a thing one day. I hope they publish it. But anyway, so that's my point. So look, we're living at a time where everything's coming at us, and if you do the research and you do the math, you go, oh, this isn't like theory anymore. It's. I mean, when they discovered and do the research on this one, this is interesting, and people are like, all right about it. I go, have you not seen any movie about black holes? When you see a black hole in the center of our universe, which they just discovered, they said they had theories about it, but now they see the black hole in the middle of the Milky Way galaxy. Which galaxy are we part of? Oh, yeah, the Milky Way, duh. We labeled it because we're in that Milky Way galaxy. So the question I have, are we going to it or from it? What's going on? Right? So my question is this. Are we ready for it, and do we need help? Back to something Jesse said. He says, what if a UFO landed? I say, maybe they can help us out. We need a life-saving mission right now. We are the life-saving mission. And people, we're just not ahead of it. I know. I sound like a weird person or a crazy person talking alien. But, I mean, if government says it's true, then there you go, right? Okay, fine. They didn't say alien was true, but they did say UFO are true. And they are certain spacecraft that actually, go really fast, even faster than this hypersonic missile. And that's got to make you wonder. If something or someone has the ability to create a craft, or, I mean, granted, I don't know if they have a shuttle, but I mean, that would be kind of interesting to see. I guess my point is this. If they have the ability to go that fast away from us, right, where they kind of have, military personnel go check them out, which if you look at the stories as of the last week that have kind of been talked about at Capitol, then you would say, well, wait a minute. Did they apply the speed of craft to destroy and Oh, there you go. That's the moment I want. For people to say, what does that mean, right? So I say this, stay alive, people, because, I mean, you only got so many years on the earth at any given moment. Enjoy the people that you have. Enjoy the fun that you get to have in the middle of it all. Just stay safe, all right? Don't get sick. Don't, get in the middle of war. And if there is a war coming, then get out of Dodge, right? Go flee. Get out of there, because there is no good that comes from war. I'm telling you right now. Nothing happened good with Ukraine, even if Ukraine completely defends. And I think Poland will probably intervene about, less than, probably I don't know, it's fluctuating, but probably from a week to a week and a half. And when they defend, they'll probably push back Russia, right? Because now they have the defense of NATO. But what is NATO about, right? What's going on there? Why is Russia going? I don't want you guys all to team up. What is the alliance of nations happening, right? People thought, well, it was the UN, but the UN kind of has taken a little interesting turn, and now NATO is kind of the big thing of the day. So the question is, what next? I say this: be safe. All right. Take care of your family. Take care of your loved ones. Be safe. Oh, by the way, big shout out to those. A few people have already purchased the book. That's actually at Barnes & Noble. Here it is, A Butterfly Story by myself, and you could check that out. The other one's coming soon, and that one is good for people as well. I'm still kind of drafting it a little, so I need some help. So if anybody wants to help with that, I really appreciate it. It's called A Good Man, and that one will be coming out probably in about a week. All right, and it comes first to Barnes & Noble. I released there first, but somebody messaged me on my social media, and they said they already bought A Butterfly Story. So I say, yay! Thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate that. Again, they did it at Barnes & Noble. I'll post a link right there. But if you want an ebook, I have the ability to do that. All I need is just to get with you, and then I'll help you out with that. All right, because the ebook is available, and I can make it available to you for a nominal price of $9.99. Okay, but that one's $14.99. Just so you know, you get the book delivered, and I think it is available. Yeah, I think it is. It's available for $14.99. I think it includes free shipping. I think. Or you can order it and then have it delivered to your local bookstore. So, Butterfly Story, go check it out. It's a fun story, and it's about a butterfly that could, and a butterfly that can, and a butterfly that will eventually do some really cool stuff, because it's got a series of other stories coming pretty soon. So I'm excited about that. All right, people, make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living. Live it well.